Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, April 21st, Almont Board of Education work session. We'll call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Burrow, will you do roll call, please?
Mr. Burrow is here. Ms. Rotarius?
Here.
Ms. Ankley?
Here.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Wade is absent. Mr. Eckert?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
We have 6 members present.
Thank you, Mr. Burrow. Mrs. Bunfeldmeyer, any additions?
No additions.
Any deletions?
No.
Any amendments?
Amendments, yes, are in your colored sheets for both the non-rep contracts and the new hires.
Yeah. Okay, communication.
These very quick updates, really under communications. I just have my slide presentation in front of you here, just very briefly. The rate of recognition this month on April 27th, we'll have Mr. Bedison present on our PLTW program, Automation Robotics. And also a note on that, our L&L Educational Foundation, one of the reps, Gina Walker, is going to present to the board on May 18th. So she will provide a little update, would like to do a little introduction. So they will be there, L&L, Gina Walker will be there. Communications also for April 27th, we are going to be recognizing our OP fire incident heroes. We have Officer Retzler, Shannon Shaka, Patty Carter, and I also want to make note, I just, as we were doing our safety meetings with each of the buildings, meeting with OP yesterday, I would like to also recognize Christina Kocher. She was instrumental in acquiring or getting one of the fire extinguishers, and I just want to recognize her efforts as well. So she will be part of that. Update just for K-12 media. I just want to make sure that everybody, I'm sure, received communication regarding April 10th, our video production day. Definitely a special thank you and gratitude to Jeff Bohulski, Jennifer Sullivan, Gina Martinez, Zach Zimmerman, and James Lisby for being the face of one of the 5 videos. Right now, they're all being, in the final, the final edit, if you will, with K-12 media. I'm waiting for that release, and then we will, by the way, those videos were all viewed by our attorneys just to make sure that we're in compliance with campaigning laws when they do come out, because part of those videos, as you know, is to help us get out a clear message about non-homestead, our non-homestead operating renewal millage, and so I wanted to run that by an attorney. That has been done, so now we're just waiting on the official release of the videos.
Ms. Vaughn?
Yes.
When do they, I know the social media was part of it, at what point do they take the control, I don't know if control's the right word, but what point do they start helping on social media?
I will probably get more of that timeline after they do the final edit for the videos and kind of see what that, kind of plays out, and I'll be sharing that with the board.
Okay.
Try to keep you updated with K-12 media as we go through each of the meetings, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Next action step, I don't want this to be a miss, so definitely would like to see a mailer go out in May to our Almont taxpayers, as we've had discussion at the board. It's more than just getting social media, getting those messages out in the newspaper, social media, but also making sure a mailer goes out. So right now, getting some prices there, getting some of our messages. It'd be kind of cool to have the QR code, highlight one of our videos, take them to our website, and just make sure that our Almont, community has access to the information they need. So that's all in the works. It's all going. But our my next project would be making sure that we get a mailer out in May. I'm sure you probably know this. I know some people in the audience would, that those absentee ballots are going to go out, sooner than later. So we want to make sure we get some information out to our community. And that's what I have on here, just because this is a work session. If there's any thoughts or suggestions at this time, I'm open to it.
Do we find the newspaper to be effective too?
I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard some people are very much in tune with the Lapeer County Press. I've heard that, nope, they prefer the Tri-City Times. I've heard mixed reviews that, we don't have some of our, especially like our younger generations, really, it's more social media. That's why we try to hit the different modes of communication.
Are we doing
So-
newspapers, sorry?
I'm sorry?
Are we doing the?
We will be doing, yes. I'm in touch with Tri-City Times, Dave Fredericks in the audience here, and then Ben from Lapeer County Press.
Yep.
And then getting a mailer out, so that there's a hard copy in front of everybody, and of course, social media.
So we're doing both papers?
I do both of
Okay,
those.
awesome.
Yes. Any other thoughts, suggestions at this time? Okay. Update on OP principal interviews. Just last week, conducted second round interviews for 4 candidates. The panel is consisting of myself, teachers, support staff, and parents. 2 of the 4 candidates have been invited to third round interviews, which will take place tomorrow night. They'll start at 4 o'clock at Orchard Primary. And hoping, of course, after a third round interview, hoping to bring, a recommendation to the board for next month to get a principal in the seat. That's the hope. So looking forward to that. Both of the candidates have elementary leadership experience. I did put out a OP survey to the staff so they could weigh in to let me know what they're looking for in a principal. And I feel like having the elementary experience meets that consideration because they were hopeful that we were going to bring in somebody with experience. How about this? Our current or present 2 candidates have experience. So if we were able to make a recommendation, we kind of meet the letter of the law there for the survey.
Would they start prior to the current?
I think that would have to be in talks and, transition of what that looks like. If there's a principal that's, we have a principal, I believe, one is, has been retired and one is still in a position. So I'd have to work on a transition plan. That would be a little bit of the hope is to have a little bit of that, that carryover, transition. So, they could speak to Principal Bruno and get the heads up on some important things, of course. Yep, that would be the goal. Good question. And then I'm going to turn it over to President Smith, update on the superintendent search.
Thank you. Right now, we have about a dozen applicants that have applied for the position. That closes on May 5th. So MASC did say that a lot of times that it's kind of a rush towards the end date. So, but right now, we do have a confirmed 12. We have further meetings with MASC in May. So just as a reminder, we'll be talking about the questions, looking through those, and then we'll be looking at the candidate profiles and stuff that gets submitted to us. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just wanted to, do a little shout out. Our first track meet, I love this picture. It was great. I don't even know how it all came together, but I just gathered the group, and this is our first track meet, and everything. Even though I don't believe we took first place that day, but I would tell you that you can look at the smiles. Everyone was pretty happy, to be there, hosting this meet. The parents were excited. They mentioned just it was great to come home and then take that 5-10 minute drive to get to the event for their child instead of always doing the away meets. So a great big shout outs to our coaches, whether we have Coach Wade, obviously we have Coach Klein, Coach Baholski, Zach Zimmerman, Coach Bristol. We just were very thankful for their dedication to the program. The track looked great, heard great things, and I'm just really excited about their season. So just wanted to kind of put it out there. Any questions from the communications standpoint? No? Okay. Turn over to you.
This will be our first questions and comments pertaining to the agenda from anybody in the audience. Go ahead.
Principal interviews are being done where? At Orchard Primary.
Media Center.
And that is open. It's open to, the interviews are open for the public or not?
We did not post. We just conducted them.
So you're saying no, that it's not open?
We haven't had it open, no.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Any questions or comments pertaining to the agenda from the board?
The track meet, was awesome. There were so many people here, softball, baseball, track. The school is alive again. It was really good to see.
I agree with you. Yeah, it was buzzing. I'm glad that you mentioned that because we were able to see, there was like a softball, JV softball, varsity softball going on. So it was fun to see everybody, out there. And it was a beautiful day. We just got a really nice day. I think it was last Tuesday, right? I want to say, yeah.
So just to echo on that, my son was at the varsity field for baseball, and I came over, and it was really fun to see so much stuff going on at our campus. And the track meet had so many people. They did a wonderful job. Great job. Unfinished business. Nothing to report. Building site.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Sure, go ahead.
Windows K.
Oh, Windows K.
Windows
Okay,
K.
thanks for picking up on that.
Yeah, window K.
It was a product last minute.
Oh, everything.
It's fresh in my mind.
Very patiently.
Oh, sorry, I got her.
Very.
I got her queued up a little bit fast. I'm still new. This is only week month 2.
Yeah, I think you gotta hit allow or.
It's
He
not
does
there.
not have that
It's
option. I think someone
it's
else
probably on
does.
the Roku remote.
Where's that?
It's a little thing.
Well, we've got 10 seconds. Oh! Ellen.
Yeah.
Same as Colin.
I don't know.
He has to be allowed onto.
Windows K.
It said to allow on the bottom of the screen up
And
there,
then
but
take them out.
then we didn't run up there fast enough.
Thank you, Colin.
Don't go
Deep
far.
throat.
Almost. Why did we say?
There we go.
Okay. How do I get that off?
There we go.
Okay. I'll get better, I promise. So some of the, first thing I want to do that I forgot to do last time, I want to give a shout out to our IT director, Brandon Markman, as well as Colin, our IT team, for introducing me and helping me get set up using PowerPoint. My goal is to be, clear and more concise for the board as well as for the people in viewer land. For this particular month, I want to touch base on some of the things for the OP fire that occurred on the 23rd. I'm going to discuss some toilet paper, some flooding in the district, and then we're going to go over some miscellaneous updates. And then at the end, bear with me again, I've got a small photo album to go through. Again, piggybacking on what Ms. Bond went over, I want to commend Officer Ressler for his decisive action that day. It could have, progressed into more than what it was. Obviously, that day we had the fire marshal, our local fire chief, as well as the health department out. The source of the fire was the plug of the air purifier. The fire marshal did state that there was no need to discard the other air purifiers within the district. This was essentially a one-off, just make sure things are plugged in properly. For that day, ServPro was on site within a couple hours. Initially, they set up what's called air scrubbers, which are a HEPA charcoal air filter, these big, massive machines. They had to wait for the green light to clean any hard surfaces or any other materials. They had to wait for set seg to show up, which they did that day and gave them the green light. On the 24th, when the fire marshal and the health department and the fire chief were here, we were given the all clear to resume school on the 25th. Of course, we finished the week serving cold lunches because there were still parts of the building that were off limits. I think the kids actually kind of dug the change of having, cold lunch for a couple days. And then, of course, the week of spring break, there was some very intense action going on. I was very impressed by the crews that Servpro had on site. I mean, they even brought in a triple header, latrine and all of the lifts that they had. And school resumed after the spring break, with the exception the gym was delayed because we were waiting for a cause and origin inspection from set side before we could go in and do any electrical repairs or do any painting. The only thing that we are waiting on as a result of the fire from the 23rd is they're replacing all of the wall mats that are on that north side of the wall. So obviously, if the building is old, even if they had the exact same color, it wouldn't match because those ones have been faded over the years. So as soon as those are in, then that will wrap that up. Here's a couple of quick pictures. I know you can't see them that well, but they brought in about eight lifts, and they were literally cleaning just about every square inch, to include all of the rafters and the ductwork. Again, I was very impressed by it. Moving on to toilet paper. Apparently it was asked if we had options compared to what we use. We do use kind of a generic 2-ply. So I reached out to our supplier to see if there was anything available. There's what they call a premium 2-ply. They're going to be dropping off some samples. So once I get those, we'll take a peek at them. Now, up until the 20th of this month, and this takes into account, I just most recently ordered, I can account for 124 cases of toilet paper. So taking that cost differential from $77.24 a case for the premium compared to the $72.42 that we currently pay, it would be an increase right now of $597.68. Obviously, we've got a little bit of school left, so that number may change, but it still kind of puts it in perspective of what it would take to increase. I would encourage that we do not step it up to anything, well, we all want to squeeze the Charmin. Anything softer typically, in my thoughts, equals thicker. And right now, our plumbing can handle the 2-ply. This is the building that we have some issues from time to time with. I wouldn't want to increase it to anything else, and then, on the back side, we have, and no pun intended, we have other issues that we have to deal with. We've experienced some flooding in the district. As it says, I do have a photo album that will, if you'll bear with me, once I get completed here, I'll get out of this and I'll get into that and have some explanation. Some miscellaneous updates, just to kind of wrap this up. For the first track meet, we did not have, there was a question about why we didn't have a blower at hand. For the budget that I was given, I did not find any equipment that I was happy with. I try to spend the district's money better than I spend my own, and for that budget, there was really some bad reviews, and I didn't want to push a bad product. I've spoken with Mrs. Bond. We've tweaked that budget just a little bit. I have a blower that will be delivered tomorrow.
Thank you, Jason.
Yep.
That was a very quick turnaround. Thank you.
The district truck is old. It's a 2002. It's got 40-some thousand miles, but they're old miles. Most recently, both of the shackles in the back just rusted free, put the leaf springs right through the bed of the truck. We were able to do a repair to it, but the truck is no longer has the ability to be roadworthy. That's not taking into account the short drive on Kidder Road to get to the south parking lot for garbages. But to go uptown or do anything else, I don't see it being safe to leave the property. We were able, like I said, we were able to put these shackles on and do a little bit of welding, but I wouldn't go down the road in it, not for any great distance. Carpet bids, because that was a summer project, I had received a little bit of, I don't want to say pushback, but people were concerned about getting bids when we talked about this 3 months ago about, the landscape changing and prices differing. So my hope is for next board meeting that I'll have the remainder of the carpet bids for the high school library and be able to make a recommendation on that to include tile at that entry and OP that we discussed on the 25th when we did the walk as well.
In the office, right?
Yep, in that office area there where it's chewed up. We've been running into some issues with the software here at the middle school for the HVAC software, and it has been recommended. So right now, the current update is at a 7 as far as what's available, and we are at a 3.5. Now, because of the current HVAC computer runs at Windows 10 and we need to upgrade that to Windows 11, it's suggested that we update the HVAC software up to the 7 for it to run as efficient as possible. I'm waiting on those prices, so when he gets back, we did an upgrade a couple of years ago to get us to that 3.5. I don't even think we were at 2 at the time. So it's just as things advance, we need to
Is this
upgrade.
just, I'm sorry, is this just one machine, one computer?
Yes, yeah. So, and this would be different from upgrading the software controls, like when we went upstairs and we walked around and looked, and I don't know if I went over and necessarily opened it up and showed you the controls and the software. So that it would kind of be different from some of the things we discussed with Verity. This would actually be a program that I could pull up right now and make adjustments here, so. Okay, so bear with me here, so I should be able to get off of here.
Are you just looking to show
Just
pictures from your computer?
Oh,
Yeah, you don't change
Just-
your
yeah,
program.
just
read you.
Disconnect. Who got you?
yeah, you do.
You're like a tech
I'm telling you, I'm telling
Wow.
you.
Max Garner.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be sitting at home doing these meetings.
So much has
after.
changed. Look
So,
at you. I have a presentation for you.
here in the district, as well as throughout the state of Michigan, we've had quite a bit of rain in the last little bit. And I had some inquiries in regards to some of the flooding that we experienced in certain areas and the current condition of some of our storm drains and whether or not they were attributing to some of the flooding. So I took the opportunity to wait till it really got pretty soggy out, and then I put on my knee boots and I did some walking around. This picture here is from Thursday the 16th. This is right at the back side of the south wing of OP. As you can see those vehicles there. I don't know, can you see well? Do we need to shut the lights off? Can you see well enough?
Yeah, I wouldn't hurt. It's kind
Okay.
of blurry. That's better.
Excellent. So this is where the cars are. That's that south parking lot over by the soccer field. Now, if you'll notice up here by where my mouse is, on the next slide, you're going to see that there's a storm drain there, and I'll talk about it once I get there. So this is that storm drain on the very same day. Now, if you notice, I don't know how to make it to blow it up, but that water level is still 3/4 of an inch from being able to get up and over that to even drain. Now, you could say, well, Jason, there's leaves right there. This crock, that is the level right there, and there's a secondary cover that I put on it because the children were, and I affixed it to the cement crock because the children at one point, a couple years ago, I don't know how, they were pulling that manhole cover off. So I fixed something else to it, but it isn't, by no means is that obstructing the water to flow. The water's not even up there. And again, going back to that one, that is the condition of that area of the field. That was on Thursday the 16th. Now let's go to Friday the 17th, the exact same area. And again, if you notice up here in this picture where my mouse is, there's that crock, that storm drain. Now we're going to look at it on this Friday the 17th. It's dry. So there are low areas within the district that just hold water. If this was done all over again, this could potentially require what they call some bleeders that would run out into that field and catch the water and take it back to that crop. This is an area it's in between OP and looking at the east side of the middle school. There is a crock, I don't know why I'm stuck saying crock, but a storm drain that is below grade. I discussed this when we did our board education walk, especially the east end sidewalk. I was talking about how it's hard sometimes in the wintertime because all that water washes the salt off, and then it flash freezes. It's below grade. Now, throughout my time here, I have, now it's pretty gooey and gummy down there, and you're gonna see in other photos where I'm standing down in it. But I've never seen, with one exception, I've never seen water collect in that area. And when I seen it collect there, it was shortly after I showed up on the district. I tried putting like a landscaping cloth over it to keep debris from washing in it, and it actually had an adverse effect in that it then started to pond in that area, and we certainly didn't want that during the day when the children were out there. So the significance of this here is this was my own little concoction, not having a laser level. I had to devise a couple stakes with a string and then kind of, make it level so that I could show what the drop or the fall was there. And as you can see from this picture, I've got about 27 inches of drop. So when we talk about addressing the drainage issues on OP Playground, it's more than just, cleaning that crock area out. I thought I uploaded a real good one, but if you were to look at this, this storm drain here from an overhead, you would swear that it's plugged. And again, it doesn't hold water in that area. If you went out there right during a massive storm, there might be some water, but it doesn't hold the water. So again, 27 inches. If we were to, and it's like that if you go to the north side, on the other side of the sidewalk and the tarmac there, you've got these big gully lumps that especially in the wintertime when we get those thaws in February, it holds the water. So a pretty significant correction would be needed in order to change some of that. I mean, that's a pretty good grade. Here we are back-to-back softball. And this was, except for those first two pictures that were Thursday the 16th, these have all been Friday the 17th. So this was me trudging around in the back where the softball is. Here's another photo of it coming up through the cross-country trails. It's really holding water back there. So where I'm standing here is 12 inches of water, and this is right back in the cross-country trails behind the dugouts and whatnot. And as you can peek through to the horizon of this photo and you see more water, that's the farmer's field. And if I would have showed a video, you would see that there was actually water running from that field into the back of our school property.
Jason,
Yes.
is there no drainage ditch or anything like that between the field and the property?
Not really. Nothing. I mean, if there was years ago, it's nothing that constitutes a drainage ditch now. And here's just another picture from just a few feet over in that back. Here it is. This is a panoramic of me being out into that field. It is a very large bit of land that's holding water. So this over here where the mouse is to the right, that's actually because it's panoramic. That's some of that property that's part of that sub that's down here before we get to the station. There's another picture of it that would be facing towards the east, towards Kidder Road. It just holds a massive amount of water. And when I was asked prior of, is there anything we could do, until this water's gone out of this field, we would just be throwing money away. Or at least we would need to get with maybe a civil engineer. I think it's a little more than just coming in and putting some drain tiles. I did reach out to the village and ask them about it. They said that, eventually the water gets drained and they very, very slowly release it into the Clinton River. So there are some drainage out there as part of the village, but I don't know what to do. That's a lot of water. So I've not found any storm drains that are plugged in the district that would be causing, this clearly shows that that water back there is coming from another source that at this point we don't have any control of.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a clarifying question.
Sure.
Regarding the mats that were by the plug for the layer, are we, maybe stuff is saying that we're not planning on plugging that in the same spot, right? Like,
The outlet?
The mats.
yeah, like we're not gonna use that same plug for the air purifier right next to the mat, right?
Those plugs were replaced
Oh, okay.
at request of Chief Smith, and as well as the fire marshal was there as well. I asked him, what do you want to do? What should we do? And he says, replace them, could be fine. So they kind of gave their blessing to it. So and they've since been replaced. So
I guess I would just be, like, with it being at the opening, like kids, if they're running into it. And
or balls get kicked around, or
Right.
but that could be
So-
anywhere. I mean, all of our gyms have electricity that's exposed
Right,
to.
Mr. Burrow had explained to me, like, when it's not fully,
Yes.
connected, that is how, fire can happen. And
Yeah.
so I guess in an effort to avoid that from ever happening again, like, is that a good space for us to be doing that, or I don't know. I'm just wondering, maybe you wouldn't respond to decide that, I guess.
We could certainly discuss.
I'd recommend no air purifier by the minutes.
Yeah.
Because again, to your point, it could be a ball that bounces and
Right.
you could be in the same. Yeah.
And that one was very unique because it looks like someone cut the mat out, so you had flammable material right immediately.
So I asked about that.
Perfect storm.
And everybody that was there from the fire marshal, everybody, they said that is not an uncommon thing. But they go into schools and they have the outlets that are cut in like that.
Okay.
So, and you have the two that are on the north side and the two that are on the south side as well. So I guess the question is, what would they need electricity for?
Right. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if
To
you
do
have,
without,
like, having that.
because at the other
plugs,
schools, I
like-
don't believe that there's plugs in the mats. So if that's the direction that we want to go based on the fact that they're in the mats, we'd have to figure that out so that I can call them and say, don't worry about cutting holes, just put a solid mat and you can play them over.
We can follow up, we can talk to
Thank
who
you.
utilizes those.
Yeah.
But, I'm sorry, Jason, but so the fire marshal didn't have any issue with there being,
Nope.
the outlets there?
No. No, just obviously because that one there was the one that was burned up. But you could tell from the outlet, and then again, I don't have the cause and origin report from the set side, but you could just tell, we moved it around, that, I don't want to say there was, compared to the front, there was minimal amount of burning on the backside. So you could tell that the fire originated from the front. And then from watching the video, you can see that it just sparked when. So.
Thank you for your updates.
Thank you.
Got a couple of questions for you, sir.
Sure.
I appreciate you looking into the toilet paper. That was a big ask for our student councils at the middle school and high school. Mrs. Smith, for finance, can you guys see if that could be budgeted into the budget for next year? I think that'd be a huge win for the student councils that came and approached us with that issue, so, yeah. So,
Yep.
And then the district truck, how do you feel we need a one? Like, is it something that we need to go off-site for quite a bit that you should have?
No, we've really kind of pulled back on it the last couple of years, just seeing that it's, it's aging. So we've never used it for anything other than, we do some in-house salting. We try to do as much as we can. And it's able to complete those tasks. We don't use it for, we pull a trailer a little bit every now and again, so, but it's always on site. So I think for now, we'll be able to work with it. Previously, the board had asked if the truck was available as some sort of backup to snow plowing, to which we didn't at that time, and I guess I'm just putting it out there that the truck is no longer a workhorse. It's just here.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Clarifying questions?
Clarifying questions, thank you.
Yep.
Was the handicap parking included at the OP? And then the other one was on the toilet paper. Are you able to return the cases you have and exchange them? Is that what the cost difference is, or?
No, the cost difference would be as though we were just starting fresh. We were going to go with the premium roll.
Okay, so what are you doing with the cases you currently have?
Well, not knowing how much time is involved, I could see about some sort of buyback, or it may just be that we would use them up, and then once they're gone, there wouldn't be new orders of,
I didn't know if they would return them unless
Yeah.
you buy it.
I mean, to keep our business, I don't see why not, but, this might very well have a transition time as far as what we're going to decide, so. Yep.
Katie or Justin, you guys good?
I'm good.
Last thing for building and site, I need to bring it up just because the budget's coming up too, but we wanted to look at what it would take, and this might be, I don't know if this is your department, or maybe it needs to be under the athletic budget, but if we didn't have an outside service stripe the fields, and we had somebody taking care of blowing off the track and striping the football fields, what that would look like as an employee of the district doing that, and then also having that person available for maintenance or maybe something else in that lines. So I don't know which scope that would fall under, but we would like to have that discussion at some point.
Russell, who do you envision doing that in-house?
Right now, the coaches are doing most of the work themselves. And so there's been some issues where coaches have taken it upon themselves to go even farther than that and do permanent structures on building a site that they should, and so I'd like to explore having a person maybe doing that, whether that's a maintenance person part-time or an athletic, I know we're adding an athletic assistant director. If there's somebody like that would fall, I don't know which paradigm it would fall under, but just to look at that, because if you look at the lawn maintenance contract, there's a large dollar value attributed to all the choppings and stripings and everything like that, so we did that in-house, and then didn't have coaches coming in an hour to 2 hours before their event to clean up their own areas so that they can have a game or a meet or whatever, that would be beneficial for the district.
Yeah, we could certainly explore. One thing that I would want to bring up that I discussed in the past too, because obviously the next question would be would that be a district employer or would that be an outside source employee similar to, our custodial staff, and the fact that my maintenance worker is actually a part of the custodial ownership. They wanted to do snow at one time, or they proposed doing snow and lawn. And I think there was actually a price given by the old owner of the custodial service. And while I was fine with the lawn, because I always joke that, if they were unable to hire or keep adequate help, I could be in on Saturday and Sunday in a straw hat cutting grass. But I advised against it, especially for snow, in that, there's times where everything's fine all the way up until 6 o'clock, and then it's all hands on deck to make sure that we can get people into the buildings or out of the buildings because of the adverse weather. I would be concerned or want to explore it to where if we were going to pick up that kind of task, that we were able to keep people employed that could do that work on a consistent basis. So, because then you're looking at, you can't play softball because we didn't have anybody to do the field. We did, There's a reliability that comes with, what we're paying, the service we're paying.
Correct. Yep, absolutely. Appreciate that. So by that, usually good.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferraro. Very well, finance. Huh?
Said you're looking at me.
Either you were or Russ. Russ is probably.
I got it. Or maybe flip checks now. Okay, the check's written. Do you have any questions?
I had a couple. Kathy, it was line 76, check number 47135.
My checks start with 47203.
You ready, Roland? Hold on.
47203. 47135. She wasn't. 472.
Wrong one.
Yeah,
Yeah, they start-
47202 is the question.
Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Hold on. Sorry.
Because I did see 4713.
Yeah.
Just
I might have
sure.
the wrong one. I did, I went in the wrong one. No, you have to skip me for a second. No, there we go. Okay, hold on, Kathy.
No, we're just.
Okay, sorry, line 31, 47215. There's a couple on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it was some pest management. It was just a different company. I thought we had seen like MMM in the past. It just is this, we kind of go between a couple.
No, our pest controls that we pest.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking it was MMM. Sorry.
That is for,
For fertilizer.
Ah, that's okay. I was getting them mixed up.
You said one? Okay. I didn't really have any, but I can come up with it.
Chief.
2 mil. About 47,330. Quite a few of those for the year.
for big year. Let's see. Most of this is out of account 25, which is student activity account. I'm sorry, food service. So they, let's see, purchase some supplies and cleaner, tape, blueberries, stuff like that for food service. Maintenance supplies. So that.
Thank you.
Is that cool?
Oh, I do have one.
Oh,
47279. It's line 1, 2, 3.
To
Like that
Aventric Technologies?
Yeah, looks like it's AED pads and batteries.
Yep. The ED pads, replacement kits, chargers.
that's just updating the equipment.
Do we do like a,
Oh, I just asked that, that's just updating the equipment for the,
is there any grants or anything out there that we get that covered through or no?
Not at the time. This time.
Team.
And then the high school one looks like it was quite a bit more than.
Those were brand new.
Huh?
They bought brand new ones.
Brand new one?
Zach was asked to purchase 2 AEDs, right?
Okay.
And these are just replacement. I think the batteries only last about 4 or 5 years. So,
all right. Thank you, Kim.
Right, thank you.
Account balances. Let's see, any questions on high school, middle school balances?
I didn't have any.
Good.
Okay. Student activity accounts. Questions on those? Preliminary budget update. So the finance committee met last night. Kathy and Mrs. Vaughn presented the preliminary budget for next year. I guess high level, we had, we're projecting a little over 2% increase in revenue for next year, with a little under 3% increase in expenditures, it's like 2.7 million increase in expenditures, still netting out to a positive contribution to the fund balance. And that includes other items we're going to discuss too. Do you have any?
I think that's good. I think that'll be good. We'll have Kathy walk through everything, and then if anybody has any clarifying questions, just let us know. Okay?
All right, here we go. Just to refresh everyone's memory,
Yeah,
our historical fund balance.
The 2 on the right.
And I just kind of, because, you know, there's some new members, I just thought I would kind of walk through the process, the budget process. So I like to attack it as there's 5 budget pillars. Number 1 being the foundation allowance. The governor did share her budget proposal, giving a $250 increase, bringing the foundation allowance per pupil to $10,300. I don't believe the House and Senate have published theirs yet. I did want to mention that the governor is talking about a super blend, where right now on our state aid, there's a membership blend of 90% fall, 10% spring, that blend. And they're talking about extending that blend over a larger period of time because all districts are experiencing the same issues with declining birth rate, declining student enrollment. So to give a better scope of enrollment would help everyone's fund balances. Number 2, we look, the other pillar is the pupil count, of course, the student enrollment. And in the projection for the budget, I did use Stanford's projections along with our district history. Number 3, of course, wage and wage increases. Taking a look at what contracts are negotiated, what the existing languages in those contracts, for example, steps for the AEA contracts. Number 4 is the state retirement contributions, which change every single year. The MIPSers have all their different categoricals, so those are always looked at each year. And then number 5 is the medical insurance increase, which we are experiencing P8 152 hard cap increase of 3% for fiscal year 27. The budget goals that I like to establish, number 1 is sustainability. Number 2, retention. Number 3 is finding our district's sweet spot, meaning the teacher to student ratio, our cash flow for no state aid, no borrowing, our fund balance, etc. Number 4, I like to, one of my goals is attrition management, keeping the workforce balance to match enrollment to staffing. Number 5, identify the challenges and impact or stress on the budget. We do have increased mental health needs, special education, discipline, and so on. I wanted to help you understand the budget forecasting process. The first step is what we do is I create a 3rd quarter budget to actual per building and department in spreadsheets. I, of course, leave out the wages and benefits, and I email those out in advance to the principals and to the department heads. Number 2, meet with the superintendent and each building principal and secretary to discuss their current year to date and their next year needs. Number 3, meet with department directors to discuss their current year to date budgets and next year needs and beyond if applicable. Number 4, analyze wage increases based on known information as of that day, and I want to emphasize as of that day because everything changes every day, just like the weather in Michigan. Then we want to estimate the cost increases. So I look at the general liability insurance, operations maintenance, hard cap health insurance, etc. Number 6, analyze previous year trends and determine the volatility. Number 7, incorporate contractual and annual increases. Number 8, include special equipment needs. For example, the Chromebook refresh and the Wi-Fi update. Number 9, analyze the effect of grants on the general budget and make sure the revenues equal expenses. I wanted to give you a general specific assumptions that were made for this budget process. Number 1 is that the non-homestead millage will pass because that is $1.7 million of our budget. Number 2, sinking fund proposal will pass because that helps with our maintenance budget. Number 3, our water and sewer increase is trending to be 25%. Number 4, our waste and trash increase is trending 7%. Number 5, our general liability insurance increasing 5.75%. Number 6, our heat cost increase is trending 15%. Number 7, the custodial, HVAC maintenance, transportation, grounds maintenance increases all across the board. Number 8, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did a very conservative estimate on the revenue. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about, I could go on and on, but I just thought I would just kind of touch on a few. Okay, so here we go. So this is, I wanted to give you the past 3 audited actual financials and looking into our proposed, or I'm sorry, our approved budget that we amended for fiscal year 26, and then our proposed fiscal year 27 budget. Across the top here, I put in our student enrollment blend, and that's according to the state aid report that we get every month. So that's that blend I was talking about with the fall and the spring. Currently, we are at 1,355.4, and the per pupil foundation allowance is 10,050. So for next year, using Stan Fred's analysis compared to our historical trend, we estimated 1,347, and we're using the governor's proposed per pupil foundation allowance of 10,300. So kind of going through, I was going to talk about fiscal year 27 first. So going through the increases on revenue and just kind of analyzing, trends. So RJ from PFM is proposing that for property tax that we should experience a 4% growth rate. And driving around Almont, because I live here, I can see, I've counted all the homes that are being built right now, and there's over 35 that are sold and just moving in. So hoping that there's kids at every single one of those homes. So we took our local sources, state sources, and I took the past 3 year, including this year, what we're estimated to come out to be, taking those and then averaging those out to a 2.05% revenue increase, which I want to say again, I believe is very conservative. Then going through just basic programs, it does come out to be a little lower, and that's because the title grant is offsetting our program costs. We do get an increase in title grants each year. Added needs for our special education and compensatory education, an increase of 1.42%. Our total instruction cost is down a little under 2%, thanks to the title grants. For support services, we estimated a 1.65% increase, and for general administration, a 0.2% increase. Then going down to school administration, which includes a new or revised position, the assistant principal or the full-time dean, and then that comes out to 13.62%. For business services for the central office, including the new part-time accountant in the central office, a 9.87% increase. And then operations and maintenance, We did include the glycol equipment, which is estimated to be $75,000. I think Jason has a quote on that. So that increases that line item to 10.19%. Transportation is, our contract is 3.5% each year. Information management services, this is IT. This includes the $162,000 quote for our Chromebook lease, and that's over a period of 4 years, and the $82,000 Wi-Fi upgrade. So that brings it up 63.52%. Athletics has increased to 11.29% due to athletic director full-time, the field striping and paint and chalk and et cetera. So our total support services increases 11.33%. We're showing a trend of 8.06% for community services. So bottom line, we are projecting a 15.36% fund balance, giving revenues over expenditures by almost $38,000. So that's fiscal year 27, and then taking a look at, and this includes the wage increases per contracts that we know of today for next year. And then so in the years 28 and 29, we kind of were very conservative on the enrollment. Just kind of, I'm forecasting a plateau here, that we're going to kind of stabilize and stay the same for a while. That seems to be what our trend is going to be. So I'm only predicting a 2.35% increase for 28 in revenue and 2.6% increase for fiscal year 29. And then kind of using the trends and all things considered, looking at a 2% increase for basic programs, a 1% increase for added needs, a 1.65% increase for support services, a 1% increase for general admission, 3% for school administration, 3% for business services, 7% for operations and maintenance, and 3.5% of course for our transportation each year. For athletics, a 2.5% each year. In total, we're looking at kind of stabilizing, like I said, kind of flatlining at 15.01% fund balance with a $597 surplus for fiscal year 28, and then a 14.66% fund balance for fiscal year 29. Now, it is very difficult to project out 3 years, so a lot of thought and assumptions and analytics went into this to try to come to the best, scenario. And again, it's based on information that we know today. It will probably change. So this, I just wanted to give you guys a first preview, a first run of how it's looking for the next 3 years for our district. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up is the non-homestead operating renewal.
Thank you, Pat.
Mrs. Vaughn, did you have an update on this? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to read the sheet here.
Yep.
The fact sheet. This is for the special election non-homestead proposition. The Board of Education must submit to the Lapeer County Clerk any ballot proposal it wishes to present to voters. The attached resolution outlines the proposition language as it will appear on the ballot. This ballot request will be sent to Lapeer County Clerk to be placed on the August 4th, 2026 primary. The passage of a non-homestead operating renewal millage ensures continued funding for essential school operations by maintaining the tax revenue generated from commercial and non-primary residential properties.
Thank you. Any questions there? Mr. Burrow?
No.
two. Yeah.
That's two. Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn.
Yeah.
And now we're on to 27L funding.
Just touch that sheet. Attached that sheet. 27. What did you do? Set that sheet for 27. Sorry, no problem. Sheet for 27.
Are we supposed to?
Not necessarily, but we were gonna, I guess we were, no, it's okay. I think there's like an overlap of communication. I thought we were, it's grant funded, so I don't, we were gonna bring it before the board. That's, I think we were planning to do a fact sheet, right? Okay. So, I don't know, if it's something that we've created in the past, as far as, can we make one for this time, or is this something that has to be tabled? I think we've done this before. Are there any questions on the grant? I'd like to keep it on the agenda, so whatever we have to do to tweak it, I apologize, I didn't realize that.
I don't know.
Until I just looked at it, I'm sorry.
I mean, as long as we, as the committee, know what's going to be the move.
Yes, and I met with, I mean, we followed the criteria, just in full transparency, we met, part of that criteria was meeting with all of the unions, the bargaining units, and we did.
Finance committee discussed it last night.
Yeah. But I would like, I just think it's in good light that it's,
Well,
that's what
I
Kathy and I
just think
discussed.
we would need to know now what the motion would be in the future. Like, we need to have some type of fact readout at this meeting here, even if it's accurate.
Oh, you're saying to bring to the regular meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can, like, we can just like go, like, something like this, okay, so
Yeah.
like, okay. So basically,
See how you are on the fly.
right?
Okay.
Not good, not with,
We need a couple
funding.
minutes, I mean, by all
Yeah,
means.
take a few
by all
minutes,
means,
yeah.
I was gonna say, can we just?
Yeah,
have a
we go to
couple
the
minutes? That
next-
would be
go to
great.
the next one.
I would,
Yeah, and then
yeah,
come back.
thank you, 'cause I wanna make sure it's done right. Sorry about that. I'm
No,
so
that's all
sorry
right.
that got escaped from our attention there. We were interested in the details breaking down. As you see, there's a lot of attached information for you.
Mr. Burke, may I go back to the preliminary budget and ask Kathy a question?
Sure.
Okay, well then,
I was like, well, wait, there's another big question.
I remember that last year we had done a like a hot list of like, hey, if the budget came under, like that we these 3 items or 5 items are be what we would talk about first, or hey, if the budget's over, this is what we want to add back in as quickly as we can. Or will we have that for when we approve the budget in May or June?
We did discuss that last night as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Wade asked
Requested
to
it,
bring that
yeah.
up.
I am representing Mr. Wade.
Yeah.
So.
Mr. Wade, number 2.
So my recollection is last year, we had to do that because we had a deficit budget. And so we had to remove some things to make it a balanced budget, a zero-based budget. And in this case, we've already done that.
Okay.
So there is close to zero for this budget this year. So we don't really have a list of things to add back. Although toilet, we're starting one.
Right, I get it, yeah.
But toilet paper isn't going to break, the budget.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
And if
this,
you guys want to start.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say to Russ's point though, like given that there is a lot of assumption, we know that there's assumptions, we don't know if we're gonna get the 250 per student and all that stuff, like, I guess it would be a good idea to have, like,
Yeah.
at least
some sort of
top
idea of like,
five.
okay,
A
if
top
we
five.
don't meet this, what happens? Like, some sort of plan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask a clarifying question? So this budget includes our safety fund task?
Is there really anything on there though that would be, I mean, there wasn't anything specifically sinking from
No, I mean, but looking at the actual year-to-date, we were able to use the remains of the sinking fund for some of the expenses this
Yeah.
year, and it's basically down to zero now. There is no more sinking fund, it's zero. So the stress and pressure would be on the operations and maintenance budget. And I can't emphasize enough about the non-village homestead. That's huge. It's $1.7 million of the budget.
To further expand on here, so there's no dollar value in this budget for the sinking fund. It's Mr. Frederick's operations budget that will be what it is right now, but if the sinking fund didn't pass and we still wanted to do the sidewalks or whatever the item would be, we would have to reevaluate our budget to fit that in to his budget now.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Frederick, but isn't there like 100-something thousand that you use kind of that repairs?
Typically, yeah, that's what it averaged out to be, 100 to 130.
Yeah. So that's 100,
That's what I was
130.
talking about.
Yeah, there's
She
like
said,
130
yeah.
that, can swing, if we don't do this.
Which is significant.
Any other questions?
Jill, are you ready?
I'm working on it.
Well, I got
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, we have.
Russell, sorry, please, I think I point out one thing, you brought up last night, just the concern with the increase with the lawn contract. I think it was about 40%.
44%.
That was, so there was it was 40% increase, and so we just.
That's
said
over
we
the 2
would-
years.
Huh?
Over the last 2 years, it's
Yes,
down 40.
so he just said we want to, be mindful of that or whatever. He asked me to think that too.
Let's say, while we're waiting on 27L funding, we've got one more item here, non-rep comments.
Okay, you're ready, so we could maybe potentially, okay, thank you, Jill. So we might be able to revisit that, 27L.
Oh, okay.
Seems like you're gonna make your secretary happy, you're not gonna go out of order.
All right, still on 27L?
Yes, we're on 27L for like our fact sheet here, if you will. So the Board of Education must approve the acceptance of the 27L Educator Compensation Grant as allocated in the 25-26 State School Aid Act and authorize the superintendent and district administration to take all the necessary steps for the distribution of these funds to eligible educators, including the execution of any required letters of agreement with the district's collective bargaining units.
Questions?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Jill, thank you. That's good on the fly.
Thank you, Jill.
All right, now moving on to the last one, if there's no other questions.
I don't know, we're
All right.
Okay.
Last
Non-rep.
one, non-rep contracts.
The Board of Education approves the employment contracts of all personnel. We have many staff members that are not part of any collective bargaining agreements and thus have individual contracts with the Board of Education for duties to which they are assigned. The recommended compensation package has been discussed, reviewed with the Board Finance Committee. And as you see, I just wanted to make sure you took note on your in front of you. Just did my due diligence to reach out to superintendents, looking at transparency pages as you can. You go to the school's websites to kind of see and look at those wages. Not everything is encompassed, or sometimes they're hidden, so it's not as easy. But I did do my due diligence. Everything in yellow is the most current that I could find. Obviously, we're in a contract year, so ours is whited out. Couldn't get all the information from Frankenmuth or Richmond, but you can kind of get an idea of where those salaries stand. So I just wanted to make sure that you were able to do a little bit of a crossover as to where we're at. Did share out a spreadsheet with you. Hope that was helpful. I did get some feedback from the Finance Committee. I'll accept other criticism, constructive criticism on that, but just trying to make it transparent, make it easy to read, and if you have any questions, I will take those now.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
What is our goal as a district to get these approved by? Are we trying to always get these approved before the budget or after the budget is approved? Because last year, obviously, it worked out that we did it like right at the same time. So I just want to make sure that like going forward around the calendar piece that we're on.
Yeah, I think part of last year was just like we had some turmoil with the budget, so
Right.
we got delayed. Like the Finance Committee, I think, is in agreement that we do want to do it now,
Okay.
this year. And so I think it really depends on the year.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think there's a lot of moving parts, yes, but as soon as you can solidify that, and
Okay.
if we're, obviously doing the preliminary budget does help, it kind of gives you an idea. All those numbers were built into the preliminary budget.
Right.
And then after meeting with the Finance Committee, I believe believe it was
I believe
agreed
it's our
upon.
recommendation.
Recommendation that
Do it this
we
month.
would
Okay.
move forward with an April.
So like next year, would we expect this, because there's a lot of one-year contracts, are we expecting this renewal in
The
April?
1 year
next
would be renegotiated.
That is for the
April?
next school year, just to be clear. It doesn't
Correct.
mean that it starts right away,
I
right?
know, I
It's for the
understand.
next, yes, for the next
Yeah.
contract
Well,
year.
we're gonna have these negotiations, I'm just confirming for our timeline purposes that next year will be in April again, that
Yeah,
we'll be
and
reviewing this.
Mr. Wade did bring up last night that, like in the past, there had been, like, where we've gotten into a place where they kind of alternate, so you're not doing the same people over again every year. But,
Right.
maybe if we can work to get to a point where we get some additional on 2 years, so we can get some, it's not just a constant renegotiation.
Right, okay, cool. And then one more.
Yep.
I noticed on the website that we have I believe it's like state requirement that if someone exceeds 100K, they need to be on the website. When I had last looked, there was only one employee on there, and then according to the updated spreadsheet I got, there should have been 2. So I just want to make sure that we get that updated this year, for next year, or whatever that needs to be appropriately updated.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Burrow.
Mrs. Smith, any questions?
Okay, I'm willing to.
Me too.
I will say, I think after our discussion last night, and because all the information that was presented about the preliminary budget, the finance committee felt that with transition to a new superintendent, or transition to a new old or primary principal, that they really wish to retain our staff that are here and keep us in transition. We felt in the best interest of the district to move forward. But as Mr. Burns stated, every year it can be a little different.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Anybody else?
I just have a clarifying question with this.
Sure.
On the line of athletic director, does this mean if it's not listed, those schools do not have an athletic director? Unless it's stated.
Yeah, those are the ones, sometimes it's like a split position, so yeah, otherwise it wasn't clear if that was just an athletic director position. Sometimes they're coupled with something else, like if you see in Richmond, it's like, I think they have like, maybe it was buildings and grounds, it was like athletics or buildings and grounds and
Buildings and
safety,
grounds,
and safety, so
Director
it's not always
of
apples to
athletics is
apples.
also Building and grounds there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
some of these were hard to do because they're not apples to apples
Right.
with how we roll out our positions.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Policy.
Resignations, retirements. The Board of Education may agree to a resignation, retirement at any time if replacement, if necessary, suitable to the school administration, the board has obtained, provided that the circumstances underlying the resignation or retirement are valid in the opinion of the board and warrant a search for replacement. Debbie Lemon has announced she will retire from her role as the Secretary of the Athletic Director and Dean of Students effective June 30th, 2026. Loretta Lawrence has announced she will retire from her role as paraeducator at Orchard Primary at the end of May. Tuesday. Moving on to new hires, the Board of Education approves all personnel. Mr. Bruno is pleased to recommend Savannah West for the role of recess aide at Orchard Primary. Gex hires athletic event assistant, varsity sideline and competitive cheer coach, varsity wrestling coach. Thank you. The next one is the board seat term change. The board adopts bylaws and policies for organization, operation of the board and district. Bylaws and policies may be adopted, amended, or repealed at any meeting of the board, provided the proposed adoption, amendment, or repeal shall have been proposed at a previous board meeting and once proposed shall have remained on the agenda of each succeeding board meeting until approved or rejected. Bylaw 0131.1, the Board of Education is proposing to amend its bylaws to transition from six-year to a 4-year term as outlined in the attached resolution. This is the first reading.
We've got an email with like analysis of whether we should keep it from the 6-year term so we don't get into this.
It'll be for one 6-year term?
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
if you think of it, if you look at that graph, so you think of it, don't think, think of it like CA, B, C, D, like that. CA would stay at the 6-year term for this election. C, B, and C will be 4-year term for the election. C, D, and E will be a 2-year because they're partial term, like people
Yeah,
have been doing the partial.
And that's the approach
And-
we're going with?
what's that?
I'm sorry, is that the approach we're going with?
That is,
That's the approach.
that's what would be on the ballot,
Yeah.
yep. and that's how
Because there
we
was the
go.
other option of just a straight.
Right, so we would do that, and then the following election, we would be on all four.
Yeah.
But we'll offer so that there's not as much turnover.
Yep, thank you.
It was a little confusing. We got more I'm sorry, on the new hires. I don't know
Oh,
my packet.
new hires.
I have to go back. I don't have the words in front of me.
I think there's some stuff that I mentioned for
That letter there?
I don't have that one.
I'm sorry.
Can we share that? Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Mrs. Smith, I have a clarifying question for the seat term change. So judging by how past election cycles have worked, if members of the community are putting their name in for those slots, they're stuck in those year slots. And so like if nobody chooses the 4-year slots and everybody goes in the 2-year, most people go in the 6-year, like we could have unfilled spots.
Correct.
How do those spots then get filled? Do they come based off of who has the most votes in the other slots, or does it come back to the board
I don't-
for interview process?
I don't believe, I am going to actually pass the ball.
Back to the board.
That's what I thought.
You have the same
Thought-
thing with resignation. We have your 30 days to fill it.
Yeah, so it'll be
Okay.
like an appointment kind of thing again.
Okay.
Basically that they have to choose
Right.
which one, right,
Right.
which one they're going to go for. Yes, it has to be declared.
Good question.
Mhm. The next one is school of choice. The Board of Education may accept non-resident students into our schools via 105, 105C guidelines as outlined in the pupil accounting manual provided by the state of Michigan. Superintendent has recommended open seats for the outline and information provided. Should there be more applicants, then space is open for the limited grade. A lottery will take place the day after school of choice closes, and any students not placed will be on a waiting list. Priority will be given to students that currently have siblings attending Almont Community Schools and those students who have attended Almont Preschool in 25-26. Good. Bowling policy revision. The board adopts bylaws and policies for organization, operation of the board and district. Bylaws and policies may be adopted, amended, or repealed at any meeting of the board. Provided the proposed adoption, amendment, or repeal shall be proposed at a previous board meeting and once proposed shall remain on the agenda of each succeeding board meeting until approved or rejected. Bylaw 0131.1, Superintendent Policy Committee have provided the following additional recommendations. This is the first read. This is under policy 5517.01. And just to highlight that the victim there is going to be at least 18 years old, along with the other changes that needs to be attached. Okay, thank you. Strategic. Here, start there.
Mrs. Smith, the policy was the board seat term change to 2-0, or is it not recommended because it was the first read? For the board seat term change, since it was the first read, is there a recommendation of 2-0 on that now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have that. Apologize, guys, we missed a couple of these sheets, it's okay. Sorry. Fix that. we're trying to stay in order for you, Mr. Burrow.
I appreciate it. It's a moment of zen.
The board approves the goals of the district. Various stakeholders have met over the past few months and agreed on a strategic plan for the district. The attached plan for the district will dramatically improve the school system. This plan is the culmination of various meetings by stakeholders and reflect a strong desire to move the district forward over the next 5 years.
May I ask a quick question? How does the, because I've never been here for this, how does like the signage around the building and stuff get changed during this process?
Great question.
Is
We
it-
start updating as soon as we get the, approval
approval.
on Monday. We
Okay.
start moving to,
Okay.
it's communication across the district, of course, too.
Yeah.
So whether, it could be bulletin boards that need to be changed, or even just if there's mission and vision
Right.
signs, they would be
Okay.
replaced. Yep, just waiting for the official approval.
Yeah.
Good question.
Mr. Lee wanted to ask about the items that weren't clear from the last strategic plan. Weren't carried over and we weren't sure. He thought, he remembered, Mr. Morrell at one of our meetings saying that we should carry over into it. And so we didn't know if we wanted to maybe take some time to add those items to the report.
Oh, before approval?
Yeah, or how that would work exactly, I guess, and when we went to Scott, I guess.
Okay.
So they're finding that out.
Yeah.
He just said he remembered Scott talking about that at one of our sessions.
I guess I would question, just because of, again, being part of both of those strategic plans, even 5 years ago into now, are we saying that it's not like a lot of times it's like overarching, or, it translates into
Well, I think he
the
was saying like
goals.
if they're like every, it's a fluid document, and like it kind of becomes complete when like everything like falls off or whatever. So I can ask Scott a little bit more questions.
Yeah,
about
either
it.
way, we can
Okay.
touch base for
Yeah.
sure.
So he just wanted to bring that up. He was thinking that like he needed to have the stuff from the previous plan and incorporated it. So we can find out about that.
Yeah, I feel like some of it's been translated, but, into the new strategic plan, but if it's a lot different, or if there needs to be another, look at it, I think we still have that time to do that. So we'll follow up on that.
Scott indicated that when we were doing it. So
Yeah.
Scott didn't indicate that.
He didn't say it that night, but I do remember him saying it at another meeting, that like when it doesn't just end, when you just stop and you do those items, like you should move into the next one or whatever. But I don't know what's that. Should it have been talked about after the meeting? We'll get some more clarification.
Yeah, they kind of just
Yeah.
morphed into.
Yeah, yep. I know that's what
That was my takeaway, but again, if there's another ask, we'll dig deeper, find out. Sound good? Yeah. All right, student handbooks, parent-student handbooks. The Board of Education approves the student handbooks of each school. The policies and procedures contained in the handbooks serve as a guide for our students. By approving changes to the handbooks, the changes become a part of the district policy. Any changes to the handbooks are noted in an attached document. Staff changes within each building will be updated as needed. Handbooks and changes were also uploaded to the Google Drive for the board's review.
I have a question. So, page 6, it talks about the update, the new secretary to principal. Are you getting a new secretary?
Secretary to principal, probably head secretary, making sure that the titles are correct. So like Jackie Miller, the secretary to principal.
I don't know.
So that may not be, I don't know how it states right now. I have to go back and look to see right currently. This is an update that they wanted to make. So Susie Stone might be listed right now. No, I can double check. Let me take a quick peek. That would be my guess. Or if it's a reference to the assistant secretary. Yeah, it says Susie Stone. So we're looking to have that Jackie Niedermeyer as our head secretary. So, all set? Yes, thank you. our summer school program. Policy 2440 states in part, the board shall annually approve a summer school program. With funding from the 31A grant, Almont Community Schools is able to offer summer school to grades K-8 this summer. The summer school program will run from July 6th to July 30th.
Also, want to share any questions on it? All set?
Nope.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that 3? It's 3 to 0. Thank you. First 3 to 0. I think.
Mr. Wiggs is an important man.
So bring us to our second questions and comments. Would anybody in the audience like to be open? Yeah.
I'm not sure that Kathy, I heard this correctly. Did you say in your preliminary budget that you didn't include any of the unknown, like contracts like the staff, the paraprofessionals and teachers, that contract's up?
Yes.
You didn't include anything in there? So there'll be an additional cost probably for something in there.
Well, everything that we know of today is included.
But I mean, but there's, the contract expires. So there's going to be a new salary schedule, which we don't know what that's going to be, right?
So the AEA contract is implied that teachers steps 1 through 24 will get a step increase. That is in the fiscal.
That's in there. But if they get a percentage on the steps, then no, it's not.
Right. Any other thing that has to be negotiated is not in there.
Okay, but you have moved the teachers on, okay. Strategic plan. I thought when we talked, we met that Saturday and everything, that we were going to get together one more time, and I don't think, unless I missed you. Were we supposed to get together another time or not?
After the strategic plan?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought we met, we met that Saturday and everything was going to be put together, right? Because I had a note down that.
Let me go back to my notes, Mr. Bowman, thank you.
Because I had it in April, the end of April, I got it on April 30th for my calendar for some reason, I don't know what for. So
It might be
if there's not a community meeting on April 30th,
You said
to take
strategic
it off.
plan, so strategic plan, are you talking more so about, like, plan for, like the community, the community?
No, I thought it was a
Community.
strategic plan, so
So what I have maybe reference or precedent is the community.
Okay,
So let me go back.
I could be way
Yeah.
off.
Strategic plan, I don't think I have a follow-up there.
Okay.
But what it could be a community like engagement.
Okay.
That I'd like to probably schedule before June.
All right, very good.
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
And Russ, just to, if there happens to be an open, thing, lots of times what happens is that somebody will do a write-in.
Yeah.
Because then once they find out what's open, they'll do a write-in, and then they basically are a shoe-in for it. So you usually don't have an open thing to vote on.
Gotcha. Oh, that makes sense.
There's
Okay.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody. So, other than that, that's it, thank you.
Anybody else? Questions or comments from the Board of Education?
Mrs. Smith.
Mr. Burrow?
Ms. Vaughn, do we have the expected graduation numbers for this year?
No, but I can update you in a board note,
That'd be great.
so I can reach out to them. Ms. Nora.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Mr. Frederick, for putting together the PowerPoint presentation. I like that.
We'll get back.
I like it. It was good.
Mrs. Smith?
Nobody else?
Yeah, sure.
Ms. Burns?
I'd like to thank Mrs. Bond, Mrs. Merrifield for all the work you did in putting the budget plan together and everything. The meeting went really smooth last night.
Thank you, Justin.
I'll echo those thanks, Mr. Frederick. I'm excited to see future PowerPoints. Great job tonight. Ms. Vaughn and Mrs. Merrifield, you guys did a wonderful job last night. I felt like you guys answered questions people didn't ask them. And so it was a really, really, really good finance meeting last night. So thank you both very much for that. I know it took a lot of time and effort, and we're making some really good improvements with all that. Everybody did get a letter. Please make sure you take the time to read that from our First Congregational Church about a baccalaureate for our high school seniors. So please sign into that. And again, congrats to all of our track coaches on our first meet in many years. I think it was a wonderful event. That's all I have.
I A couple of things, I'm sorry, just a couple of things. First of all, I know Dave Frederick from Tri-City Times is in the audience, so just thank you so much for, being pretty timely and getting back with the district if there's something that we would like, put out there, both Tri-City Times and Lapeer County, the Lapeer County Press. They've been wonderful. So a few shout outs. I do have a few shout outs, so you'll be seeing that. You'll be seeing it in the paper tomorrow. I know that Dave shared that I believe there's breaking news, so I want to share that. We're going to be on the front page for our Rachel's Challenge, our district chain, that you're going to be able to read and see more about that. And it was a great event. A big thank you to Holly Keller. She's our high school Rachel's Challenge, advisor, and the students. There's a group of them. I had a nice picture. Lapeer County Press was out. I think that will show up in their paper. So a lot of good press there. A lot of great things going on. Also want to do a shout out. Tomorrow is our Administrative Assistants Day. So our secretaries, administrative assistants. My awesome assistant, Jill, thank you so much. We were able to, the principals and I, sent them off to a special lunch today, so to recognize all of their hard work. So again, please be nice to your administrator if you're hearing me out there. Teachers, being nice to our administrative assistants this week. So thank you for everything. Jill, thank you for everything. You've been a very welcomed addition. So thank you so much. And then board, we were not able to make our Chartwell's dinner work, our date, but Stacy Moyer has reached out, is suggesting the next date, which would be the board meeting in May, remember, because of Memorial Day. So May 18th would be our board meeting. They would like to offer us dinner on May 18th at 5:45. Again, I won't put you on the spot right now, but I'll probably be reaching out to you so you can confirm if that date will work. Would love to see at least 5 of us attend. I know it's hard with spring sports and all the things that your kids are involved with, but May 18th, 5:45, she's kind of hoping we could get at least 5 of the board members there. Kathy, Jill, you're also welcome to attend that dinner. So please, I'll be reaching out to confirm, but that's May 18th, and that'll be in the high school cafeteria if that works out. So that's what I have.
Any future agenda items? Okay.
Ms. Smith,
Mr. Burrow?
I move we end the Tuesday, April 21st work session at 8:02 p.m.
Motion support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.